Nobody were asked. No proclamations?
No, no proclamations.
Good evening. I'd like to call the June 20th, 2017 Poquoson School Board meeting to order. And would you please rise for the pledge to the flag?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any additions or modifications to the agenda?
We do not.
Thank you. Let's move on to recognitions.
Well, we are thrilled to once again be able to recognize our Odyssey of the Mind team members who are successful in the world competition. In May, Poquoson's elementary and high school Odyssey of the Mind teams traveled to Michigan State University to compete against teams from around the United States and from countries like Poland, China, Canada, South Korea, and Singapore. We'd like to begin our recognition of our students, so I ask that the following members of the Poquoson Elementary School team come forward as their names are called. Skylar Weston. Dylan Robinson. Michaela McDaniels. Christopher Holloway. Bo Baggett. He's not here this evening. Also unable to attend this evening are Cameron Brewer and AJ Smith. I'd also like to recognize the coaches of the teams in the audience, Mr. Norm Remchuk and Sandy Berg, are both with us this evening. So everybody should know that our team put on a great performance with a creative skit about an artist and her magic paintbrush. Their structure held 715 pounds. They had the second highest spontaneous portion of the competition, which placed them 5th in the world overall. Please join me in congratulating these students on their success at the world event. Next, I'd like to ask the members of the Poquoson High School structure team to come forward with us this evening. I believe we have Eden Fullingham, Sandra Fan, Colby Baker. Unable to attend in addition to Eden is Jack McKenna, Justin Bias, Elizabeth Baggett, and Cam Ross could not attend this evening. I'm correct, right? I haven't missed anybody. Yeah. I would also once again like to thank the coaches of these teams, and again in the audience, of course, Mr. Norm Remchuk and Bryant Baker. And high school students, I do want you to know that Dr. Syak was very sad that she was unable to attend this evening to cheer you on for your recognitions, but she asked that I relay how proud she is of you. Our PHS team entertained the audience with a Scooby-Doo mystery. They had an amazing backdrop with a haunted old house hand-drawn with pastel chalks and a suitcase that turned into a Scooby-mobile with room for 4 people. Their structure held 893 pounds. They had the second highest long-term and third highest style scores in those portions of the competition, which placed them 6th in the world overall. Please join me in congratulating these students for their success.
We normally take a break, but tonight we are not going to take a break. But I want you guys to know that we know this meeting is not stimulating, and if you would like to go, you are free to go. But you're also welcome to stay.
And we wish you all a great summer.
Happy summer, everybody.
Bye.
There goes our audience.
Hi.
Congratulations, you guys. Awesome job.
Okay, we're going to move on to our financial update. Ms. Woodruff, would you come forward, please, and give the financial update?
Good evening, Chairman Cass, members of the school board, and Dr. Parrish. For the finance report this evening, it was requested that we provide the school board with an annual listing of donations received by the schools over the past year. These donations are included on the agenda items at each school board meeting upon receipt, but this will give you an opportunity to have a full list of the donations received by school this year. So you have the full listing at your seat. Schools receive donations from a variety of sources, including individuals, church groups, civic organizations, the PTO, PEF, Box Tops for Education, and Farm Fresh has a points program where shoppers can scan a key tag to earn points for each school. And this year, our schools earned over 456,000 points and received a variety of classroom supplies. So this is a great way that we can shop and earn money for our schools. The uses of the donations were for a variety of student needs, for field trips. Student agendas will be provided for each student at Poquoson Middle School next year. Classroom supplies and equipments were supported by the donations. As you heard last meeting, PEF donated $44,000 to purchase technology items, as well as grants awarded for teachers throughout the year for classroom supplies as well. There were also donations for incentives for SOL remediation, art supplies, and a poster maker supply machine that's at the elementary school. Various clubs such as the Drama Club, the DECA Club, and OM were supported with these donations for conference fees and competition fees. Programmatic support also included donations for the high school band and chorus departments and medals and wreaths for the Poquoson Middle School band. There has been support for athletic teams, and the PTO provided approximately $25,000 for the high school after prom event. This chart shows you the breakdown of all the donations combined over all of the schools and division-wide. And the schools received nearly $165,000 in donations. About 74% of all of the donations came from PEF and PTO. As I just mentioned, the PEF provided for the technology items and the grants, which was about $75,000 over the course of the year. PTO provided about $45,901, which was primarily for classroom supplies at the primary school and the after prom at the high school. And if we work our way around the bottom from right to left, the Poquoson Art League gave $3,000 for art supplies at each of the schools, $7,049 from the band boosters for the spring trip, $5,053 for box tops, which was provided for privacy shields for SOL testing, the PMS agendas, and other classroom supplies. Church groups from Tabernacle United Methodist Church gave $500, and individuals provided $4,119, which was primarily for clubs, athletic teams, classroom supplies, and field trip assistance. $7,800 from the Kiwanis Club for technology equipment, Teacher of the Year awards, and other student needs. $8,893 from NASA, which was for parts, service, and a warranty for a 3D printer. And the remaining $6,735 were for other organizations, which was primarily for the OM World Competition. And we would just like to take this opportunity to thank all those who provided these generous donations this year, and it helps our schools in many ways. So that concludes my report.
Thank you. Great report. Any questions or comments, board members? My only comment is thank you to everybody. That's absolutely amazing. Great report.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Generous community. Mr. Pappas, could we get the operations update, please? We know you don't have much going on right now for this summer.
Good evening, Dr. Parrish, School Board, Chairman Cast. This evening's operations report will focus on transportation, specifically stopped school buses. We currently all have been behind a school bus as it approaches a bus stop and seen the flashing lights. In Virginia, on non-highways, when a school bus begins to come to a stop, amber lights are activated 100 feet prior to the stop. Once the bus comes to a complete stop and the door is opened, the amber lights automatically extinguish and are replaced with overhead flashing red lights. Simultaneously, the stop arm and cross arm automatically are deployed. Each fall, PCPS staff reviews stops and makes every effort to ensure that drop-off and pickup of students occurs on the side in which they live. Stop arm cameras have recently emerged on the scene. Below is an image of a stop arm camera attached to the driver's side of a bus. If you look closely, you can see several ports where there are numerous camera lenses. Use of these devices requires a city ordinance. When the stop arm is extended, the cameras will capture images of any vehicle passing the stopped school bus. Once the images are digitized, they're sent to a third party for analysis. They're then forwarded or returned to the local police department, and once verified at the local police department, the local police issue a $250 citation. PCPS and city staff have met to review and discuss stop arm cameras. City staff has sought insight from other municipal police departments as to the impact that installing these has on the department staff, dispute resolution, and how information is gathered through the DMV by the third party. School staff has been in touch with vendors to get a better understanding of the cost of the cameras, installation and maintenance, as well as sample ordinances, support, training, and contracts. In May of this year, Virginia Beach Public Schools was given permission by the Virginia Department of Pupil Transportation to field test extended stop arms. As you can see in the image below, the extended stop arm, which works just like the shorter stop arm that comes out by the driver, extends 6 feet into the oncoming lane. The trial process has several steps to move through, and if successful, may then move through the state approval process in the spring of 2018. If ultimately approved, hitting a stop arm would be the same as hitting the bus. PCPS will be watching Virginia Beach's pilot and monitor movement through the state process. If extended stop arms are approved by the state, PCPS will work with the police department to determine the best course of action. If stop arm cameras are recommended, the board will need to request that an ordinance be adopted by the city. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you very much. Do we have questions, comments? Thank you for all that work and for the report, Mr. Pappas. Dr. Fox, could you come forward with an instructional update or move over for an instructional update?
Good evening, Chairman, cast members of the board, and Dr. Parrish. Summer is definitely here, and while June is a time of closure in our schools, it's also a time of beginning with lots of planning for preparations for next school year. Just want to take a moment to remind everyone about our summer school programs. Parents of students in grades K through 8 who have been identified for summer school have been notified. We encourage parents to consider sending their children to summer school as we use the summer months to provide important instructional support to our students and work on key academic skills for improved achievement. Primary school will be the site of the K-5 summer school program and the extended year program. The high school will be the site for the middle school classes and the credit-bearing high school classes that we offer. All of these classes actually begin next Monday, the 26th. If parents have questions about summer school, we encourage them to contact their child's school. Additionally, I wanted to provide information for you tonight about the ESSA grant application that's in your packet for approval this evening. ESSA stands for Every Student Succeeds Act, and in December of 2015, it was reauthorized from the 50-year-old Elementary and Secondary Education Act. You're probably very familiar with previous versions of this law, which were called the No Child Left Behind or the NCLB Act. Our application includes a request for continued Title I and Title II funds, and your approval tonight will move that application forward. Also in your packet are several reading files for the approval of textbooks. If you recall, this past year we introduced several new courses to our program of studies. Courses such as Introduction to Programming, Probability and Statistics, and Astronomy add more course options for students as they move through their high school careers with us. With the addition of these classes comes the need for new textbooks. Reading files are also included for textbooks that need to be replaced because they're outdated in some of our career and technical education courses. Many of the textbooks recommended do come with approval for online access for students, and the costs of these textbooks are being absorbed through the textbook account and various grant funds that we have available. Our teachers are also preparing for summer professional development that's supported by our 2 DoDEA or Department of Defense grants. Our high school teachers are participating in the project-based learning PBL 101 sessions, and our K-8 math teachers are participating in math professional development, focusing on the recent revisions to the math standards of learning and using manipulatives in the classroom. Finally, a very big thank you to all of our faculty, staff, students, and our families for a wonderful school year, and we wish everyone a safe and happy summer vacation. And this concludes my report tonight.
Thank you, Dr. Fox. Any questions or comments?
Great, thank you.
Thank you for the amazing work. I think I know the answer to this since we don't have any public, but do we have any public comment tonight?
No, sir, we do not.
Thank you very much. Ms. Whitaker, could you lead us in the consent agenda, please?
Absolutely. On the consent agenda tonight, approval of financial reports, approval of personnel action, authorization to change appropriation and to accept and expend attached request, approval of minutes of May regular and work session, approval of minutes of closed session, authorization for Poquoson High School to apply for membership with the Virginia High School League for school year 2017-2018, authorization to dispose of surplus property, and authorization for superintendent to sign a renewal contract with Aramark for food service maintenance.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Ms. Reimers?
Ms. Whitaker?
Aye.
Mr. Holcomb?
Aye.
Ms. Mosteller?
Aye.
Ms. Hessel?
Aye.
Ms. Sheeler?
Aye.
Mr. Jordan?
Aye.
Chairman Cass.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Okay, moving on to other matters. Consideration of approval of the appointment of student representative to the school board for the school year. Ms. Sheeler?
Yes, I am proud to say that Curtis Brown Jr. is going to be coming on board. Christy and I had an opportunity to speak with him. Curtis is a rising junior at Poquoson High School who is involved with FCA, Save the Bees Club, Young Life, and Math Honor Society. He plays JV football and varsity spring track. Curtis is a military child who volunteers in the community. He is pursuing NASA internships for the summer and fall, and he plans to major in aerospace engineering at either Brown University, the University of Florida, or Mississippi State University.
Thank you very much. Do we have a motion to approve Mr. Brown for our school board representative?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
I think we have it covered.
Efficiency, Mr. Chairman.
I appreciate that. Ms. Reimers?
Ms. Whitaker?
Aye.
Mr. Holcomb?
Aye.
Ms. Mosteller?
Aye.
Ms. Hessel?
Aye.
Ms. Sheeler?
Aye.
Mr. Jordan?
Aye.
Chairman Cass.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Okay, item B, consideration of approval of the student handbook and code of student conduct for the school year 2017-2018. Dr. Parrish.
Yes, we brought to you a draft of the changes for the student handbook to your work session in May. And following the meeting with you, there were a number of recommendations that were made by board members. So attached to your reading file that you received is the list of the corrections or changes that were made to the student handbook. As you know, annually, we do an update of our student handbook. Sometimes we need to do so because laws or new regulations have been put in place by the state, and sometimes we do so just to better align with our practice that occurs within our schools. So tonight, I'm recommending approval of the 2017-2018 Student Handbook and Code of Student Conduct.
Thank you, Dr. Parrish. Do we have a motion for approval? Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions or comments?
I have a question, Mr. Chairman. When we have these draft documents, are they placed online for the public to see what the proposed changes are?
Yes, we put the entire packet online, so yes,
Okay.
your changes would have been listed. The attachment to your reading file and the reading file goes online.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Ms. Reimer?
Ms. Whitaker?
Aye.
Mr. Holcomb?
Aye.
Ms. Moskowitz?
Aye.
Ms. Hessel?
Aye.
Ms. Sheeler?
Aye.
Mr. Jordan?
Aye.
Aye. Item C, consideration approval of the 2017-18 ESSA grant application. Do we have Dr. Parrish, sorry.
That's okay. Dr. Fox did a good job of introducing this to you. You do have a reading file attached as well as an executive summary. This does come to you annually on this year's name to the actual act. It's just a reminder, and for our community, the titles, funding that are in this grant application, that is the funding that we receive from the federal government. So at this point, we recommend approval of the ESSA consolidated grant application as presented to you this evening.
Thank you. Do we have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions or comments? I only have one, Dr. Fox. I appreciate you always spelling out the acronyms for us so that we do understand. Thank you. Okay, Ms. Reimers.
Ms. Whitaker?
Aye.
Mr. Holcomb?
Aye.
Ms. Moskowitz?
Aye.
Ms. Hessel?
Aye.
Ms. Sheeler?
Aye.
Mr. Jordan?
Aye.
Chairman Cass.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Item D, consideration of approval for textbooks adoptions for career and techno education, math and science. Dr. Parrish.
Yes, and again, Dr. Fox introduced this to you. You do have several reading files, one for each of the different subject areas for the textbooks. As she noted in CTE, in some cases, we're replacing older textbooks with new textbooks. In other cases, we have new courses that you all approved as part of our program of study. Had you do that back in January, the new computer math and probability and statistics textbooks, as well as now an astronomy course that will be offered in our high school. So we are asking that you do approve these. Please know that it does go through a formal process. Teachers assist in the selection. They're actually put out and made available to the public if anybody wants to come and see the book brought forward to you for your approval. So they've gone completely through our process, so we recommend approval of the adoption of the textbooks as presented to you this evening.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Oh, I'm sorry. I
So
thought.
moved.
Second.
Thanks. Ms. Reimers.
Ms. Whitaker?
Aye.
Mr. Holcomb?
Aye.
Ms. Moskowitz?
Aye.
Ms. Hessel?
Aye.
Ms. Sheeler?
Aye.
Mr. Jordan?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Item E, consideration of approval for the superintendent to execute a lease agreement with the Peninsula YMCA for before and after school care.
Yes, we put a request for proposal out this year because of that again for our before and after school. We did have 2 respondents, but the committee chose the Peninsula YMCA. Those are the folks that have been doing our before and after child care. So we're just bringing forward for you to authorize me to execute a lease agreement with them to continue to provide that before and after school care. It occurs at the primary school, but our other students do come to that.
In the right order, do we have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments?
Is this an annual lease? I'm sorry. Is it an annual lease or every 2 years or
Kind of a renewal will occur each year, but
each year?
this is
1 year?
setting up another cycle of
1 year at
that.
a time? Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Sorry, Christie.
How many students participate?
I do not have the answer to that, but I will get that answer for you.
I believe it's approximately 75. It's for primary and elementary
Elementary.
school-age kids.
I'll confirm that for you. You want during the school year or summer? Because they actually offer summer or both. We can do that.
Any other questions, comments? Comments?
Ms. Whitaker?
Aye.
Mr. Holcomb?
Aye.
Ms. Mosteller?
Aye.
Ms. Hessel?
Aye.
Ms. Sheeler?
Aye.
Mr. Jordan?
Aye.
Chairman Cass?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Item F, consideration of approval of moving first reading of changes to the policy manual to second reading. Dr. Parrish.
Yes, each year at this time, we bring to you recommended changes to policy, and these are typically based upon changes, laws passed by the General Assembly in the spring. They come to us from the school board attorney, who has worked through the laws and then put the language into our policy manual so it accomplishes what it needs to accomplish. I'm not going to go through all of them. There's a number of them. You have the complete outline of all of them. I did want to highlight two of them because I think you'll probably see some talk. One that is a new one, and I'm sure we'll all know why it is school divisions are now required to do lead testing in their water as of July 1, so we'll be doing that. So I just suspect there might be talk about that. It is a new law. And then also, and I'm going to mention this in my comments, but the State Board of Ed is working through some changes and will accreditation as well as some other areas. So we're seeing the General Assembly starting to align with that as well. So there is one change in there that talks about career and technical credentialing and some other things related to that. But otherwise, you will have this draft of the policy changes and we'll bring it to you for a vote in August. So they'll be in play by the time school starts.
Thank you. Do we have a motion for approval of the first reading of changes to policy to second reading? Thank you.
Second.
Very much. Any questions or comments?
Ms. Whitaker?
Aye.
Mr. Holcomb?
Aye.
Ms. Mosteller?
Aye.
Ms. Hessel?
Aye.
Ms. Sheeler?
Aye.
Mr. Jordan?
Aye.
Chairman Cass?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you. Moving on to communications. Dr. Parrish, could you kick us off?
Yes, first I'd certainly like to welcome our newest board member up here to the dais, Jeremy Jordan. It's nice to have you with us. And also I wanted to recognize that our new Director of Student us in our very large audience, Ms. Ashley Ryer. So she started working with us and we're excited to have her and we know she'll be needed community members as school gets started in the coming months. I also wanted to thank everyone in the school division for our successful graduation, because while it involves high school staff, it all started when they walked into our doors as kindergartners, and so it's always nice to see the result of all that hard work as they walk across that stage. You know that summer is underway for us, and I do actually get the question, oh, you probably don't really do much during the summer. I wanted to reassure the community that our operations department is very busy doing projects in our facilities to get them ready for the school year, and our school leadership team is working diligently to hire and also make plans for the next school year. So we're already engaged in getting ready for the return of the students in September. I did, as I mentioned earlier, want to highlight the fact that the State Board of Education is meeting tomorrow as well as Thursday, and they are going to be looking at the standards of accreditation again, as well as how they actually accredit schools, and we're anticipating that they're going to approve some changes. Also linked to this is the portrait of the graduate, which those of you that were at convocation remember that I talked about some of these in that address. So we will come to the board in the coming months with the information that we get once the state board has made the changes that they're moving forward with. There are going to be public hearings across the state as it moves from board approval into the regulatory stage. So I will definitely attend one of those public hearings just to continue to voice our thoughts on the changes that are occurring and potentially what the regulations could look like that are associated with them. So there could be some media about this as they do the adoption, so I thought it important that our community and board members were aware on. And a reminder to our community and our board that we don't have a regular board meeting in July, but on July 5th, we'll just meet for your organization, a full board meeting in August.
I have no comments tonight.
Mr. Holcomb?
No comment, sir.
Ms. Mosteller?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a couple comments. I'd like to welcome Jeremy, Ashley, and Curtis to their new positions. I look forward to congratulate the class of 2017, and I hope all the students and staff enjoy their summer.
Council? Ms. Sheeler?
No comment.
Mr. Jordan?
Well, I am very excited to having attended my first school board, having attended graduation on Saturday 15 years ago. Pretty cool sitting on the stage for the first time. So,
I, in my comments, wanted to welcome you, so thank you very much, and welcome to all of our new folks. And as a little bit of closure, I'd like to thank the teachers, the staff, the administrators for an incredible school year. Again, it's just amazing how that you're able to execute and provide instruction and guidance at such a very high level. So thank you very much for doing that. And I'd like to commend this board for the work and the commitment that you make to make this the best school system in the Commonwealth of Virginia. So thank you guys for that. And those are my comments. Do we have any material for board review?
We do not this evening.
Okay, tonight we will go into work session to talk about our board organization, and also there will be a closed meeting for discussion of personnel matters. And with that, we do stand adjourned.